Hey everyone, it's Andy here, and today's video I'll be covering what's happening with those refunds that are held up by the PATH Act, when we could expect to see updated statuses, and more importantly, when the IRS will start making payments. As always, if you want to get more videos like this around tax season, hit the subscribe button.
So also remember that the PATH Act is actually mandated by law. It's not the IRS's fault that refund is not being released and or you're not getting paid, right? And you'll be seeing these messages in the various refund status tools. And basically, for any taxpayers claiming the earned income tax credit and additional child tax credit, their entire return and their refund is going to be frozen until the PATH Act is lifted later in February, and then payments are made after that. And the main reason is that these credits, a lot of them are refundable, which means you can still get paid even if you don't have a tax liability and or you have dependents that you're claiming that are potentially claimed by multiple people or subject to fraud, as has been seen over the last few years. This forced Congress to act and implement the PATH Act to reduce the amount of fraud they saw around these tax credits specifically. So this is why it's frozen. The IRS is able to do more validation and verification checks, and then they release the refund. So it shouldn't delay processing, it just delays the refund payment.
So if you go to the IRS website, you can actually see a page where they've actually talked about the PATH Act and when it will lift. So right now, the IRS is predicting that for those taxpayers who claim the earned income tax credit and the additional child credit, i.e. held up by the PATH Act, they can expect to get their refund payment by February 27th. It could happen earlier, but February 27th is when they're saying it should all be paid out. Again, it'll happen in waves and it assumes all the other processing is normal. But the good news is that by February 17th, you should actually see updates on WMR and potentially your refund on when you could be getting your payment. So they're expecting most payments to be done by February 27th, but you should start knowing from February 17th an exact date. And I've seen in past seasons, a lot of people get paid much earlier than the IRS payment date. So I would expect between February 18th to maybe February 27th, a good majority of those people whose returns are approved to have the refund payments released. And again, just remember, the IRS holds your refund because of law. They cannot issue it. So even though your refund's approved, there's no issues, you've passed any security checks, your entire refund is going to be held. And there's no point calling the IRS and trying to say to release it earlier. This is just Congress law that has been put in place. So just to recap, if you're seeing the refund status message on WMR, IRS2Go, or even on your transcript that your refund is held up due to the PATH Act and that the IRS is not issuing your refund, by February 17th, you should be able to see an update of when you'll get a payment date. You'll probably see this on your tax transcript under code 846. It'll put the future payment date. I've covered IRS tax transcripts and related videos. You can look for those. And if you're approved, you should get your refund payment by February 17th. Again, good chance you'll get it early, anytime between the 17th and the 27th. If your IRS starts processing, depending on your cycle code, you should be paid by February 27th. Now, for those people who file late or, IRS still has a 21-day processing standard, they may see it after February 27th, but if you filed early, everything was approved, and it's been more than 21 days, you should definitely get your refund payment by February 27th, if not earlier.
So just wanted to quickly give a look at these tax credits and processing on your transcript. So a lot of folks who've filed early may want to go check if their actual tax credits were processed, and then all they're doing is having to wait for their refund. So this is an example from a recent tax season. So if you filed, go pull your transcript down. It's free from the IRS. It's updated daily or different cycles, but you can generally see if it's processed if you see the 766 or the 768 code. The 768 is generally for the earned income tax credit, so look for that. The other tax credits may be 766. A negative number is good. It means you're getting paid. So you'll see these lines on your transcript if the IRS has finished processing your tax return. Now, these lines will probably have a 04 or 15 date. Those don't mean anything. It's just a standard system date. What you really care about is the 846 refund issued code line. This is the date that the IRS is saying a refund is issued. Now, this may not pop up until after February 18th, when the IRS has confirmed the payment date, but sometimes people may see this earlier, and at least it can give them relief that the refund is going to be issued. A lot of times this is a future date because IRS processes things in cycles, so they put dates on that could be a week out based on your processing cycle if you're daily or weekly. And I talk about refund cycles in a separate video, which I'll post a link to here. It's in the description as well. But generally, this can give you an indication of that your tax return is processed and your refund is paid, which is a good sign, because what can happen sometimes is you may get a code 570 or 971, which is a notice is issued. So that means the IRS needs more information, which could delay your refund payment. So your transcript just provides you a way of seeing some of this information before you actually get paid. But again, use your WMR status to get the latest status and payment date, and then use your transcript as sort of a secondary option. I'll post some more links to more transcripts and more articles that talk about this in more detail. But if this information was useful to you, please hit the like button, subscribe, and you can also join our community if you want to keep getting more exclusive videos and join our live streams. Thanks. Bye-bye.